everyone, today is going to be a quick tutorial on how to make a hair stash pouch or a bag or organizer where you can put all your hair stuff like your iron or your blower. And here is my Tymo iron. Here it's got a brush and iron. But yeah, so here is a pouch for all your hair stuff. So this is gonna be a fun project. It's beginner friendly, but also if you're super like this is your very first project, this might be a bit of a challenge because of the zip part, but otherwise this is super beginner friendly. If you're adventurous beginner, this is perfect for you. So now I got a pattern ready for you guys. You can just go to my website and grab them, and then connect the stars and follow the, it's got A, B, C, D on different pages. So just follow that. It looks like this. Okay. So grab that and then let's get started. Okay, so here are the following materials that you're going to need. Okay, first we grab our fabrics and we're gonna cut our main fabric bigger than our pattern template or our template. So I'll just fold this in half and cut 2 pieces. But I'm getting maybe an inch and a half bigger than my template all around. Because when we start quilting the fabric, it tends to shrink. So this is to make sure when we actually cut the actual size, we're not going to run out of fabric. Okay, we got 2 pieces set aside. This will be my main fabric. And this is my lining fabric. So I'm going to cut, for the lining, I will cut the exact same size. Okay, so we have 2 lining fabrics. Now, I also want to make tabs. So these are the tabs. 1 and 2. So I'm going to cut 1 piece of this. And I want it on my lining fabric to have a bit of an accent fabric. So here we have 2 main pieces, 2 lining, and 1 tab. Now we need a zip, which one is as long as our main fabric or a little bit extra. Okay, and then you can just cut down later on. If you want to buy the one with a zipper pull in it, then just make sure that it's very long. This is about so 21 inches or 22 inches long. What we need to do is get our batting. If you've never quilted anything before, you could go ahead and just quilt straight lines that way or diagonal. And you could also do another diagonal on the other side, so then it's like a cross. So I'll show you a few different styles that you can do on the screen. So I'm gonna go ahead to my sewing machine and then quilt. So here's a pro tip. If you have a quilting foot, you can find that some quilting foot or some sets of sewing machines come with this metal thingy. It's a guide for sewing straight lines. So I will attach this to my sewing foot or to my quilting foot and then kind of gauge the distance of my needle and the guide, and that will be the width of all my lines. So I'm gonna do a diagonal this time. I'm gonna do diagonal quilting. I always start from the middle, like somewhere in the middle, and then my width should be maximum 5 inches stitch length. Stitch length. Okay, pro tip. If you don't have a quilting foot or you just don't have any guide, you could get a ruler and trace on your fabric, but make sure that the pen is erasable, air erasable or water erasable, or even the chalk, the fabric chalk pen. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, there's a chalk for dressmaking, so you can use that, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and quilt my other fabric or my other main piece, and then we can start cutting them to the exact size and we can start actually putting them together. Okay, I went ahead and sewn my label. So, because I'm selling these at the market on December 8th in Sustainable City, Dubai. So if you guys live in Dubai, please come down and visit us there. Sustainable City Plaza, December 8th. Okay, so here is 2 main fabric already quilted. So I quilted it diagonally. I've got my 2 lining pieces. And very important, my tab. Now I need to go ahead and iron this, or you can even skip ironing if your fabric stays. So for example, I just finger press, fold it in half, okay, and then open it up, fold one half into another half, and then same with the other one. So this is called a double fold, just like so. So it's like that. And then just sew either both sides, so straight lines on the edge, or just one straight line on the open edge, which is what I'm gonna do now. Okay, so here's our tab. Now I'm gonna cut this into and then maybe trim just an inch away from the edge. Just trim an inch, so then you have nice pieces, and then you will then use this as your tabs. Okay, right, now let's grab our zip. Okay, and then our zipper pull. I will insert the zipper pull later when I've sewn the zip into the main and the lining pieces. But if you have that zip that has the pull already, then that's fine. Just keep it that way. Okay, so this, I'll put it aside. This will just make my life easier in sewing all straight lines if the pull is not inserted yet. Okay, let's grab our clips. Grab your main fabric, one main fabric, put the zip right sides down, so facing the right side of your main fabric, and line it up, attach the zip. Use clips, this is perfect. If you don't have clips, you can also use pins. And then grab your lining piece, but because my lining fabric is the same on the front and the back, so it doesn't matter which way. But if you have a printed fabric that has a back and front, so the print fabric should be facing the printed main, so they are both right sides together, so that. And then now join that piece to the clips. Okay, now I've got 3 pieces. So the zip is like sandwiched between the main and the line. So I'm going to go to my sewing machine. If you don't have a quilting foot, again, you can use a zipper foot. But because I'm just so used to my quilting foot, that's what I'm gonna use. And I'm gonna stitch just right, like a 1/4 of an inch from the edge all the way down. Okay, now that it's attached, we're gonna push the bulky bit to your main fabric. So it looks like this. All facing your main fabric, and push it out, and then top stitch your main fabric.
Done.
So your front piece looks very professional because it's got top stitching on there. Okay, right. Let's grab our other piece. Here is our other main fabric. Now put it wrong sides or right sides down, so they're right sides together. Make sure that they are aligned. Okay. Clip that in place. and grab your lining piece, again, right sides down. Okay, and then we go do the exact same thing. Stitch 1/4 of an inch and then open it up and then top stitch. So now your pieces should look like this. So it's top stitch and your back should look like this. Okay, now grab your pins and we're going to put the lining right sides together. Pin that in place, make sure they're lined up.
Good.
And we're going to stitch from the top. Make sure you're locking your stitch. So we go, you reverse stitch, right, to lock it. So stitch 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, up to probably 5 inch. And then in the middle, leave a nice, maybe 4 to 5 inches open. Okay, do not stitch. And then continue from here to the end, because we need that open, because that's where we go in and then turn our pouch inside out. Okay, you can mark it with a pin so then you don't forget. Make sure that bit is open. Okay, and then for the main fabric, right sides together, clip it or pin. And this one, stitch 1/4 of an inch away from the edge, all the way down. Okay, let's do that. Okay, now before we forget and close this bit, we need to insert our pull. This is why it's good to have a bit of an extra when you are using zip by the yard. So I'm gonna grab my pull. I have a video on how to insert a zipper pull for the zip by the yard, and I will link it down below. Okay, once we've done that, open up your main fabric and your lining. Like that. Okay. Another tip, you can go ahead and iron this bit. You iron it open, the seam. But I'm just gonna finger press. That also helps. Okay. So we line up our seams onto our zip and onto our other seam over here. This is where we now insert our zipper tabs. Okay, clip that in place for now. And then do the other side. Line up the seams. Okay, that looks good. Here you go. Now we're going to grab our zipper tabs. or pull tabs. I think this is called pull tabs, not zipper tabs, sorry. And open up. So you should have your main fabric up, the quilted bit. And then open up that bit. And you can see where the zip ends. So that's where you put your tab, right there. Okay, and then close that. And then put back your clips or your pin in place. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, fold your tabs. Pin it up. Put it in place. Close it. And there we go. Now, we're gonna go and stitch 1/2 inch away from the edge, a straight stitch. Now go really slow on the coil, on the zipper. You don't want to break your needle. Just go straight. If you are using a metal zip, definitely do not even attempt to go through that metal zip. Okay? It's a no-no. All right, let's go and stitch that. Can see all the way straight. And you don't need to lock your stitches to the edge because we're going to box this pouch and we're gonna cut here anyway, so you don't need to lock the stitches. Now grab your tiny tracing paper. Here you go. And we're going to mark on the lining side because that's just easier. Grab your pen. You can use a permanent pen because it doesn't matter, we're gonna cut it anyway. Okay, trace all corners. Okay, and now we can trim these pieces. So just trim a bit. Trim that bit. Okay. So it should look like this. Now we're gonna open up our pouch now. We're gonna turn it inside out, all of them. Okay, it should look like this. Now, we're going to go and clip. So find that lining piece inside. Oop, where's it going? Yeah. So make sure you're looking for that lining. Make sure they're all lined up. And should look like this. Clip that in place. Do the exact same thing on all 4 corners. Okay, and we're gonna go and stitch 1/4 inch, but making sure that we get the lining as well. All the way straight on all 4 corners.
Big.
Okay, I've done that. Make sure that you are locking your stitch beginning and end. So I'm just gonna trim this down because we're doing a French seam. So we're going to trim it down to really close to the stitches, but making sure that you don't clip your stitches. Okay, we are near the end. Look at that. Now, we turn it inside out, making sure that we push out our corners using our fingers. Push them out. Those seams, really push it out. Now, this is how we're going to close the raw edges. Okay. Push it out. Now, roll with your fingers and then flip them. Do the exact same thing on all four sides, making sure that you grab really the edge, the corners. Okay, so we're gonna go and sew. You can feel where the bulk is, so that's your seam, that's your raw edges. So we're just gonna stitch right after your raw edges, so about 3/4 of an inch, all the way down like that. All the way down, all different four, making sure you lock your stitches beginning and end. And then we need to close up our opening here. So just line that up. So might as well just pin that in place. And sew that close, really close to the edge, as close as you can get. All right, let's go and do that.
Okay. Good luck. Yeah.
Okay, we finished it and now it's time for the reveal. Turn it inside out. Okay, our corners are great. No raw edges. None. Okay, that's good. If you do find that you've got raw edges here, you just go back to your sewing machine and then just make the seam allowance bigger. Oh, that is so cute. That is so cute. Look at that. Oh. Okay, if you made it to the end, thank you very much for watching. And I hope you like this tutorial. If you like more tutorials like these beginner-friendly projects, then go ahead and check out my other videos on my channel. And don't forget to like and subscribe and even share this video to those that you know that could, that want to sew this project. Please comment down below if you want any more tutorials like this. Don't forget to grab the pattern on my website So the pattern does not include any instructions. The instructions are here on my video. So it's only the template or the pattern pieces. Okay, so I'm so happy with how they turned out. Thank you very much. Have a lovely day. Bye.